Hello, everybody. This is the King of Pikmin here yet again, and today I am absolutely ecstatic. There is one downside, though, and that's that the PlayStation State of Play happened, and I decided, hey, it's PlayStation. I'm hoping for more Spider-Man or something like that, but you know what? I'm just going to watch it with my brother. I'm not going to set up my recording device and everything like that. And then what happens? They show Zangief gameplay for Street Fighter 6. And I was losing my mind, so I'm so sad. I didn't want to lie to you guys and pretend like it's the first time I saw it, so I'm not going to be doing a reaction necessarily, but it was Zangief, and he looks better than ever, so I'm just losing it right now. I even threw on my Zangief red Cyclone shirt. You can't see it very well, but I'm really excited, and because it's Zangief, I wanted to do a video on it regardless, even though it's not my reaction. So what I'm going to do is a brief breakdown of things that I noticed, maybe returning moves, differences between Street Fighter 4, 5, and 6, stuff like that. So, but first we're just going to watch it in its entirety because it's just absolutely glorious. It's just going to be Zangief though. The other two characters I couldn't care less about, so we're not going to be watching that in this video. It's all Zangief, baby. So without further ado, let's get into it. I think I've been ranting enough already. Here we go, boys. And just listen to the music too.
Brace yourself. Useless. Force. Dynamite. Get ready. Jackhammer. It's time to get serious. This is your last ride. Let's go. My beautiful body is built better.
Usa, baby. That's it. Then you get into the other garbage characters. But that's Zangief in Street Fighter 6. And you can imagine I was losing it. But what I want to do now is go through and just pick out some stuff that I thought was interesting. I'm going to try putting comparisons like from the older games alongside the new stuff. That way, those of you who aren't super familiar with Zangief and his past appearances will have like a visual representation. I'm actually going to turn off the music up. You get the atomic drop. They think they got the upper hand on Zangief, and he's like, nah, red Cyclone, baby. Can we just appreciate how sick he looks first off? Like, look at that jump. Anyways, all right, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes. So this is interesting, okay? So this is kind of a deep cut, not that deep if you're familiar with Street Fighter and Zangief in particular. The three chop thing is completely new, but these stomps, interestingly enough, there was a version of Street Fighter 4 called Omega. Like, you could play with like Omega. It's like a super experimental thing where they gave characters new, really bizarre, wonky moves and stuff like that. And they actually gave him those triple stomps. I'll throw it up on the screen so you guys can see the comparison. It looks a lot better now, but it's actually not a brand new move. And it leaves them standing, presumably for some command grab mix-ups. But now let's talk about the chop. It's the same thing basically, but just with chops instead of stomp. And I'm thinking they're both special moves because in Omega it was a special move to stomp, and maybe in this one knocks down the three chops. So that one might be more for damage. This is all just speculation because the chops are brand new, as far as I know at least. Three chops knock down, the three stomps still standing. So you probably want to end the combo with that if you want to go for some command grab shenanigans versus just raw damage of the chop. Again, speculation entirely. Here I'm assuming it's just a normal throw, just like with the elbow, you know, for good measure right there. We got to see that again. Usa, boom. It's pretty elaborate for a standard throw, but he had throws like that in the past, like Street Fighter 4 in particular, where he just does like the press, holds them up, slams them down, gorilla press type thing. And here we have his drive impact. the Mongolian chop, the neck chop. Those of you that don't know, the drive rush is like everyone, dude, look at his face. He's like, ah, I love it. But those of you who don't know, it's like an armored advancing special move that everyone can do. His just happens to be the chop, crumples, and then he goes straight into the SPD. Yo, when Zangief's looking at you like that, you know you're in for a world of hurt. Boom. Here, interesting, he's had this for ages. Two things to note. Atomic Suplex is back. Those of you who don't know, Atomic Suplex is tied to what used to be the running bear grab. We don't know if it's actually running bear grab anymore or if it's just the Atomic Suplex, because you never get to see him actually put his arms up and run towards the opponent. But I'll show examples in Street Fighter 4 in particular, because in Street Fighter 5 he had a different running bear grab where it was just a one animation, slow as junk no matter what, whereas Atomic Suplex happens in the older games if you're close to the opponent. Like if you're point blank on the opponent, he goes into Atomic Suplex, whereas if you run into them with the running bear grab, he does like a flying power bomb type of thing. Again, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But then another thing about this sequence is it looks like his down light kick in the air is back, although in Street Fighter 5 I think it was just his jumping light kick. I'm not entirely sure on that, to be honest. I played Street Fighter 5 more early in its lifespan and fell out of it a little bit, but still. And this was always a really good tick throw setup, because on hit or block, you could go straight into running bear grab, which is what happens here, and it goes straight into Atomic Suplex because Atomic Suplex is back. Classic kick throw there from Zangief. Let's just watch it in full speed. Down light kick, straight into Atomic Suplex. Good stuff right there. And then he has a double leg drop kick now, where he used to be his jumping heavy kick was a flying drop kick. Now it looks like he does it from standing and it wall splats. Look at that. E Honda gets wall splatted, and then also looks like his headbutt is back. I'm just talking so much, but looks like his headbutt is back, which is his forward fierce. I believe they added that. They actually added that in Omega Street Fighter 4, but then Street Fighter 5 kept it. Again, he used to have a jumping headbutt where he would jump, and on the way down, you could press down fierce to do the headbutt, but he has a standing version, and that's back. And then Lariat, of course, is back. But one thing I want to mention, this reminds me of like Hugo's drop kick in Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, where his standing roundhouse was a leaping drop kick like this. So it looks like Zangief kind of took that. I mean, it makes sense, he's a wrestler, so makes sense he has that, and the fact that it wall splats is great. Forward fierce there. Leg screws back. I forget what they called it in Street Fighter 5. They added it after the fact, but catch the leg, take him down. Great stuff. This is interesting. So you also have the jumping headbutt I was talking about is back, clearly, right here. Should put it in a little slower speed. Do that. For when I'm trying to talk about this stuff. Leg screw. And then right here, you see they jump up and collide. He does the jumping headbutt, which does high stun value damage. But then another returning move from Street Fighter 5, the Borscht Dynamite, which is an airborne SPD, spinning pile driver, that you can activate in the air. But the interesting thing, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I stopped playing Street Fighter 5 about midway through its lifespan. But I do not remember being able to combo into Borscht Dynamite with an air-to-air attack. Like, you used to be able to combo into it. Like, you could do, if you got like a crush counter roundhouse kick, it would launch them, and then you could jump up and do an EX Borscht Dynamite. But I don't remember anything being able to air-to-air, meaning you're both in the air, you land the hit, and then cancel into Borscht Dynamite. I don't remember being able to do that, so that's a new tool there. Jumping headbutt straight into it. Again, that's something I could be wrong on. But still cool to see that that's back. It looks great. This is interesting because it's one of his supers, because everyone has 3 supers. Maybe I think it's just 3. There's a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 super for each character. And this is reminiscent of his V trigger from Street Fighter 5, where he does the red tornado, basically. I forget what it's called now, but it's basically just like the red cyclone. He just turns it into like a tornado and actually vacuums people in, and then can mix them up or use it as damage. It launches, and then you can command grab them out of the air. But it looks similar. Like he vortexes him in, then scoops him up, does a sick animation. Let's slow it down again. It's even similar activation. Look at this. Boom, again, I'll throw up Street Fighter V's version on the screen, and then it's like a vacuum effect. You see how the wind is coming from the left of the screen? Well, does it actually have a vacuum effect? I don't know. I couldn't tell you because Honda gets hit by the hand immediately. But this is going to be cool because it's probably a hit super, not a command grab super, meaning you could probably combo into this for some big damage. Because generally Zangief supers are all command grabs. So that'll be very interesting, seeing some Zangief, you know, grounded combos. Finger up, number one. Yeah, that's right, Zangief. You number one. Boom. Holy, dude. And then there's not much to say here. It's his level 3 super, and it's amazing. That wind pose, it's just, mwah. I don't know what, the words don't describe it. It's just absolutely perfect. But I know I was throwing a lot of information at you guys there, just, you know, back to back. I don't write threats or anything like that. I just wing it. So maybe I should have for this one, but hopefully I got my point across, pointed out some returning, maybe some interesting things that are coming up. We never got to see his drive rush. I think that's what it's called, where you can cancel attacks and then dash forward. I think that's going to be a very good benefit for grapplers. Anything that lets you rush forward, obviously, is going to be handy, but we'll see. And maybe that super, the one with the vortex that reminds me of the V-trigger from Street Fighter V, is anti-fireball, because this V-trigger in Street Fighter V like was invincible to fireballs and can vacuum people. If they throw it like medium range fireball, you can vacuum them in and ignore the fireball. So maybe that super will do that if it has the vacuum effect. We'll see. Lots of stuff we just gotta wait and see, but Zangief's never looked this good. Oh, and that's coming from a Zangief purist. Like, oh my goodness. One thing to note, everyone's gonna notice this, obviously. Everyone's gonna notice most of the stuff that I pointed out here. Maybe the Omega thing will get missed by a few people, but Zangief purists are gonna recognize all this stuff. They didn't show Vanishing Flat, aka Green Hand, which notoriously was gone in Street Fighter V. So I'm thinking Green Hand is not coming back. It seems like they want to get away from the Green Hand, which doesn't bother me. I mean, at first in Street Fighter V, it felt a little weird not having Green Hand, but let's be honest with each other. No one plays Zangief for the Green Hand. Everyone plays Zangief for them command grabs, you know what I'm saying? And he's got plenty of those going on right here, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So if Green Hand is sitting this one out just like Street Fighter V, I honestly don't care that much. Let's be honest with each other, because I know Green Hand got rid of fireballs, but in this one there's a universal parry that gets rid of fireballs. In Street Fighter V, his headbutt got rid of fireballs. His V trigger ignored fireballs. Maybe that super ignores fireballs. So I think there's gonna have ways around fireballs even without Green Hand. So, and especially if the stomps and those chops are special moves, he's gonna have other ways to set up combos and command grabs. He looks very complete. I can't wait to play him. June 2nd, I believe, is when Zangief Fighter 6 comes out. So I'm looking forward to it. I was looking forward to Marissa, but now that I've seen this, I don't even know who that is anymore. So I'm just gushing like crazy. You guys probably cringing out of your mind, but I'm just over the moon right now. So hopefully you got some neat info out of this very, very brief and surface level breakdown. But again, I just had to throw a video out there, give my thoughts and everything, so couldn't be happier. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think of Geef down below. Hopefully good things. Otherwise, I might be a little upset, but tell me the truth, you know what I'm saying? See you guys in the next one.